Hello, welcome back again to the channel. I was thinking about making a brief side step onto a more strategic ground because after seeing some videos in the internet and YouTube about the knight versus bishop characteristics, I thought that, well, generalities tend to work. That's why they are called like that, but maybe we could, if we just followed them straight, go into a very simplistic scenario that won't render the expected results. So I'm going to give my specific approach with the knight versus bishop endings in a very practical and I hope very brief way. So first let's check here and say how the wrap goes is that if there are pawns on both sides and black has them, if the pawns are scattered and black has them, and if the bishop has a good diagonal and knight is tied to defend pawns from one side, and let's be reminded it's a passer, this f pawn, and furthermore the black pawns are located in dark squares and, even more important, are blocked, that is going to be a very dangerous situation for the black player, in this case for the one that has the knight, and this ending should be avoided at all costs. But I would like to have a more, as I've said, practical approach to this position, and with black to play here we can totally ensure that it is a draw. If white were to move with a move like king e3 going to d4 and taking the pawn and centralizing the king, it would be a straight win because of course this pawn goes nowhere, because even if it is a passer, the bishop will get to it quite sooner than the knight or the king, and with the king side majority and the centralized king will be able to claim the whole point. But let's get to black to move. The position we have said is a draw, and think, what can we do? What is the plan, or what is the move that will allow us to get an easy draw? Maybe you want to stop the video now for some seconds and think about it yourselves. Okay, otherwise with d4, which is maybe a counterintuitive move, but we are going to see very fast what's the reason behind it. With d4, white can make any process, no matter the diagonal, no matter the passer, no matter anything in the position. It seems counterintuitive, as I have said, because black is now fixing his pawns in the dark squares where they allegedly could be attacked easily by the white bishop. But what we can have in mind, and it's more important than that, is that is white able to make any process? Of course white position is more pleasant, but is able to make any process? Well, let's see. After bishop e5 to take care of the central pawn, knight d5, king f3, if bishop takes d4, of course bishop b5, king f3, this one of course now will be protected here and can be protected with some other knight maneuvers. Knight f4, bishop c5 check, and queen e8 is important because we have to take care of this passer in case white wants to advance it. And again, a draw with position, nor this one is handy, so white should watch out. And this one, if white wants to advance it, we can take care of it with the knight. So after king f3, just to prevent any further knight jumps, as long as this pawn can be defended, b5, bishop takes d4, knight f4, bishop c5 check, queen king f7, again to take care of the poser, d4, knight h3, b4, knight f4, back, just now cleaning the way for this one. And well, white still has the diagonals, white can still parry the passer. White is having visually a nice pawn in here, but there is no process to win from either side in here. But enough about bishops in open positions and pawns on both sides. Let's go to the other wrap that goes that if pawns are on only one side of the board, the knight has good outposts to attack the other pawns, and bishop can claim successfully the good diagonals if there are any of them on the board. Game favors black, and again, well, this position is maybe a little more pleasant to play as black. Let's also bear in mind that black has one extra pawn, and the diagonal we were talking about, for example, is this one, not accessible for the white bishop, and determine that this position is also a draw. Doesn't matter this double pawn, doesn't matter the way you advance this one. Another outpost, very good one, will be created for the knight, and doesn't matter that the white king in the center can do very much if centralized, because this pawn is going to block, combined with the king and the knight, is going to block any advance that white will want to do. And furthermore, if he keeps paying attention to the king side, these three pawns will beat this poor backward pawn and create a passer. So after knight king e2 with white to play, knight h6, king e3, not any advance that we can make in here. I think we shall be ill advised to compromise this square, because white will get nothing. King c7, bishop e8. There is also this strategic generality that if there are good color outposts, this one for example, for the bishop, we can successfully employ to create a big advantage. But here the outposts are aiming at anything, because well, this diagonal is the best one we can get, or for example this one, ain't going to be enough for the white side, of course, while black can slowly and successfully maneuver if we just stick with our bishop in the outpost, aiming at nothing basically. King d6, centralizing pieces, bishop f7, f5, taking here of course doesn't help at all, because this one is hanging and this one is much more important than this side pawn. Knight takes f5, bishop takes h5, because now that this one is erased, we can take our, as white, we can take our chances with those ones. But anyway, things are simplified in the position, and no matter this pawn majority, no matter that theoretically the chances were with white in the beginning, there is not winning plan for black in the position here. So let's just resume taking the first position and the second one. There are many more exceptions than the ones I have already exposed, but just for the sake of the argument, it's not enough to have just one benefit or two small benefits in the position when we are assessing a final, an end game. More important that if white bishop or knight is better than the other piece is, can we make a passer? Doesn't mind, and doesn't matter the extra pawn, doesn't matter the having the pawns scattered or not. Is the most important thing in this kind of endings is, can we make a passer out of our pawns? Because if we can't, doesn't make any sense to claim any other advantage, because the position is going to be drawish anyway.